I think our key way of looking at it, Paul, is that we understand that it's not an optimal time to have someone new come in and run the bench and run the program, and no practice right into the game today. So I think it's going to take some time and require some patience, which we understand when we do these types of things. But our way of looking at it is that we've got a full belief in his ability to continue to develop the players that we have, because I think development is still so vital for all of our players, regardless their age at the NHL level. And he's shown the track record of continuing to do that, to develop players and win at the same time. And I fully understand that this is a totally new level and the highest level you can be at in this profession. And it'll be up to all of us to prove again that it can happen here. And that's the challenge and what we're all excited about. I think just we thought we showed signs even during this stretch of playing really, really well, in long time frames in games that we ended up losing, Mark. I just felt that, and in constant discussion with Shanny about it, that the level of our ups and downs, our inconsistency a little bit, and just kind of reading off the players and watching them, how they were reacting to different things, that it was probably just time to potentially go down this path, and just continue to watch and let the story unfold, and then make the move yesterday.
Brendan, being a former player, you know when a coach loses the room, and whether that actually happens or not, I don't know. I've never been inside an NHL dressing room, but did you see that happening here?
I don't know if I'd characterize it that way, that a coach had lost the room. I just think that certainly from a player's perspective, you could see the frustration in their eyes, and I really thought even in our last game that the players were working really hard, but there was a sort of a belief missing in them. And when things are going poorly like that, a lot of things are running through your mind during the hockey game, and you could almost see it in their faces that don't necessarily even involve the hockey game. So I think for everyone involved in a situation like this game tonight, it's probably easiest on the players, quite frankly. I mean, they're just here to play a hockey game, and a lot of the challenges that we will face, and Kyle and Sheldon and the coaching staff sort of putting things together over the next several days and weeks. I think for the players, they're probably happy that there's a game to play tonight.
Kyle, I guess for you, we're going to look at the player contracts, and Mitch and also certainly Martin McNabb not playing right now. But how does Sheldon get them to play to that potential that Mike wasn't able to do that?
Well, I think that our whole goal as a program is to have each individual player reach his maximum potential, and same with every staff member. And I think that the players have shown in their entry level deals that they're capable of great things, and that's why we elected to do the contracts that we did. And there's various other circumstances that impact contract negotiations and the like. But just in why I believe Sheldon can get the most out of them, Terry, I think regardless of what the players are being paid, I think that I've watched Sheldon now in two different spots we've worked together, and his ability to absolutely maximize the capabilities of each player and help them find their best. I think Mike also did a great job of that here to certain extents as well. And it just at times when these different things happen, there's no easy way to talk about it or put it, but you're hopeful that Sheldon can take them to a new level and a different level, and that's what we're looking forward to getting to work on today and rolling from there.
Brendan, you talked yesterday about how there's a lot of defensive miscues on this team. I mean, what gives you the idea that that's coaching and not a personnel issue?
Well, as I also said, I believe in the group of players that we have. I think it's a combination of the two, obviously. You can't just put all the blame on one person or just the players. It is definitely a combination and a collaboration. And so when you look around the NHL and you look at some of the teams that are playing a little bit better in their own end and better through the neutral zone, and even, quite frankly, some of your posture in the offensive zone is going to lead to strong defense. And when I say strong defense, I mean get the puck back. So when you look at the personnel around the entire NHL, there are a lot of teams with players that I think that we stack up very well against that are doing it better than we are. So that's the challenge for the group now. And so I don't think it's any one person to point the blame at, coach or player. So I think that that's the challenge for Sheldon, our entire coaching staff, and our players to have better communication and get this sorted out. And I believe they will.
Kyle, was there any one tipping point for you in the last week or so that ultimately pushed this to where you felt it had to happen?
No, it's something, CJ, like Shanny and I talk every day, most of the day. Sometimes he probably wishes to have put me on mute a little bit, but just about the way things are going with the team as a whole, like with our front office, and with our scouting department, with our coaching staff, with our players. And, obviously, I think even before we got into, before the team lost against Philadelphia, which sort of started us down this path, you have discussions about the way that the team is playing and the way that the team is operating and what's the best path ahead. So I can't point to any one specific thing. I think everyone wants that. They want one loss or one moment in a game that sort of pushed you over the edge. But in my experience, brief experience here and before, there's never really one thing that just and I don't think either one of us are that style of people where we get frantic about one thing that happened and decide that it's time. So I think it was just an accumulation of watching the group continue to play and evolve on and off the ice that led us to that point yesterday.
Kyle, you have obviously the relationship with Sheldon going
Yeah.
back years.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have that with Mike. How much can that relationship with Sheldon now going forward? There's a perception on our side that there was friction with you and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Address that or not, but with Sheldon going forward now, how can that be a positive where you might not have had that before?
Yeah, I think I'm disappointed in myself, Terry, that I wasn't able to, in going into it and coming into the job and knowing Mike was the coach, you certainly want everything to work out. And going through last season, going through the off season, that was always my intention. I tried to do as best I could with that, and I'm disappointed in myself and only myself that it didn't work out, that we couldn't become simpatico on every single topic. And I don't think you ever want to, and Sheldon and I have, in our past working together, have had some of the biggest disagreements and arguments I've ever had with anybody working with. But in the end, I think we are largely philosophically and in terms of style of play, we're always been aligned and on the same page. And we've gone through, I know it's a lower level, but we've gone through a change like this in season in Sault Ste. Marie. So that made it a little bit easier, and it's not optimal by any stretch, but we've had to do this before. This is obviously going to be a much bigger test, and that really falls on me and nobody else.
Kyle, assuming you surveyed the locker room or the dressing room in the lead up to this, what were you hearing from players about what was wrong with this situation?
I think it's probably a better question for the players to answer rather than me to speak for them, Dave. But we have different, we've had a few times where you have the leadership group in and meet with them, and they never once to put any blame on the coaching staff, and they were always looking inward. As I said, a lot of the blame should go to me for the way that it's happened and the way that it's gone, and there's no excuses in my mind for that. But I think, and just speaking to the players yesterday and a little bit this morning, I think they're excited. It's a fresh challenge, and I think they also view it that it's their time to also step up and to help move this thing ahead, and we'll try to do everything we can to enable them to do exactly that.
Brendan, obviously Kyle's building the team here, speed, skill, maybe not so much the traditional kind of toughness that we've seen in the past NHL. What do you like about the way he's put this group together?
Well, I want to make it really clear that we're aligned. And this is how I see a team should be built as well. And I think sometimes people want to too simplistically put us in one box and, as speed and skill and toughness and grit in an entirely different box. We want to also be tough. We want to be gritty. I think that our interpretation of toughness and grittiness might be different from someone who played in the 70s and 80s or coached then. It's to me, some of the players, if you even look at Ryan O'Reilly, who won the Conn Smythe Trophy and had an exceptional playoffs, I see him as a guy that is tough and gritty, but I think he had 4 penalty minutes in the playoffs. So I think the definition and how we define that to our players about winning battles and being mentally tough, making a mistake and not becoming weak or small because of it. So we're aligned in how we want to build this team, and I think that certainly that's something that was important to me, and I think that's something that we're trying to achieve right now as well, and we're hopeful we've improved on that. And to the point that I've sometimes heard, like, well, now the pressure's on Kyle or the pressure's on the players. Like, there's pressure on them all the time. There's pressure on me. There was pressure on us last year. There'll be pressure on us in subsequent years. That's part of the job. I don't see this or view this decision by Kyle and the team as a situation where, you know, traditionalists might say, well, you've spent your bullet. That's not how I view it. I can tell you that's not how our ownership views it. We're in this together. We're making moves and we're evolving as we see we have to do. You don't set out with an idea or a plan and not evolve or make shifts throughout that plan. So I think that what we're doing right now is just basically an evolution to try and get the most out of the team. But I can tell you that as far as the kinds of players we're attracted to and the way we want to play, we're not doing it right now, but our goals are one and the same.
Two more questions.
Kyle, was John Tavares' absence yesterday related to coaching change at all?
No, it was a personal matter, and we felt, you know, even in knowing that what was coming, it was important for him to tend to that personal matter, and it's a private matter for him, but it had nothing to do with the coaching change, no.
I just asked because it was out there, people were wondering. And then, can you share what you told us, or what you told the players yesterday, what you said that you
Yeah, what I told them was that, you know, I have a deep belief in them, and whether that belief is, you know, and I don't have any issue saying that I have that belief in the group and the way that it's built, and I know that can be used against me if it doesn't go perfectly, but I don't view that as a burden in any stretch. You know, I have a belief in the way that the team is built. Obviously, I'm very biased about that, and that's fine. I've got a deep belief in the character of the group and what they're capable of. I think they've shown enough in stretches throughout of what we can accomplish when we play the way we're absolutely capable of playing when we're at our best. And what I really asked from them was that this is not an easy time. It's not a perfect time to make a coaching change. We're going to have a pregame skate, a meeting today. We're going to play a game tonight, and we're on the road for a long stretch here. And what I asked from them was just solely their increased focus, concentration, work ethic, and the ability to be a little bit uncomfortable, because we're going to go through some changes stylistically and with our systems, and it may not look great at times, it may not feel great at times, but in the long run, it's to get the group to play the way that it's absolutely designed to play. And that's really all that we ask from the players. Our goal remains the same. It's to maximize the capability of each individual player, and then as a management group and coaching group to bring that together to maximize the collective ability of the program. And that was really what I shared with the players. We talked about the way that we want to play and everything like that as well, but it was a good discussion, and I'm happy we were able to have it. It's unfortunate, of course, but I think we're all looking forward now to just getting rolling here tonight.
Last question. Kyle, I know you talked about patience with a new coach and everything.
Yeah.
And I know that would be ideal, but given the circumstances and just the pressure of the job, how do you manage those expectations? How do you kind of measure success in the near and long term to kind of, just manage expectations?
So I'll answer the part about pressure. I don't. I mean, to me, working in Toronto and being in this position, a lot of people say, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of media. I think that's one of the great honors of having this job here. I wouldn't want it any other way. People care deeply about the team in Toronto. There's a lot of great people in the media. They have the absolute right to give their take on every situation. If they agree with us, if they disagree with us, it's all part of what makes, I think, working and playing in Toronto great. You can't go anywhere in Toronto without people caring deeply about the team. And I read the greatest quote this morning on the way here is that you can look at it as a burden or you can look at it as a trampoline, and you can let the amount of care and passion for the team fire you forward. And that's the way I've always viewed it here. It's been excellent, and I think at a time like this, I think people understand that we're going through a coaching change. The coach has had no practice time. He's going to try to change a lot of things. And our major way of looking at it is this best for the long term of the group? For not to sit here at the end of the weekend and say, was it a success or not? But in the long run, was this the best thing to do for our program? And we both agreed that it absolutely was. So I get that people are going to watch the game tonight. It's one of the things that to me makes it great. There's a deep, loyal following of the team. They're going to watch the game. They're going to be trying to find the differences in the way that we play. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? People are going to have varying takes on different side of it. It's all what makes being in Toronto and being with the Maple Leafs one of the greatest things you can do, I think, in sports. So we understand what comes along with it. At the same time, we don't look at it and say, after the game in Colorado or after 2 weeks, we're going to have a referendum on the way that it's gone. We're both fully aware of the process that we've decided to undertake, and that there is going to be a few bumps along the way. I think if there aren't bumps along the way and we aren't doing things aggressively and to try to enact change, then it's not what we're really aiming for. So there are going to be moments where it doesn't look great, where it doesn't feel great, and people will likely jump on that and say, geez, that doesn't look like it's going to be positive for the group. But we know in the long term it will be, and we're looking forward to that for sure.